In this video, we are going to cover creating basic materials in the material editor. I'm going to open the material editor. I have a list of materials here. You'll also get a stock list with Callidus. You can change that at any time by modifying the list and then hitting Save as Defaults. If I click the Save as Defaults button, every new Callidus project that I open will open with that list of materials. You can also import a list of materials from another Callidus project. If I select Import, I can select a Callidus file and it will bring in the materials from that file. You can also create new materials from scratch. Create new, and we'll start with a roll good and go through this list. So I'm going to name it, set a roll width. Be sure to use the foot and inch symbols when creating materials. Otherwise, that would be in meters. So if I wanted to create a 1 meter wide roll, all I have to do is type 1. If I want to create a 12-foot roll, I have to type 12 and then the foot symbol. Seam overlap laps the width of the material. Typically, I use an inch. Cutting tolerance adds to the ends of each length. I'll typically use 3 inches, which is 6 inches added to the total length of each cut. 3 inches on the north end, 3 inches on the south end. You also have several options to control waste. Use any waste, keep the waste in the same room, or within a radius. I'll pick a separate color. If this roll good has a pattern, I'll select Self-Match Pattern. Set the vertical repeat of the pattern first, and then the horizontal repeat. This number is going to disappear. It's just going to use it to calculate how many times that pattern repeats across a roll. You can turn T-seams, or otherwise known as cross joins, on or off with this button. We're going to leave it off. You can also select mirror cutting for hotel rooms or other areas that are just mirrored across the hallway. If you need any material in square feet, you'll check this box. And if you need a corner count, you'll check this box. This counts interior and exterior corners. This base skirt height is for flash cove materials, and it will give you a lineal footage of the perimeter as well as add material to your gross quantity for that flash coving. So that is a roll good. Now let's look at a tile. Again, I'm going to hit Create New and Simple Tile. You'll use this Simple Tile option for both carpet tiles or planks. I'll begin by creating a 2-foot tile. In the offset, if I want a brick ashlar insulation, I'll put 0.5 offset, just offset half a tile. If I want a third offset, that's 0.33. If I want a random offset, so for a plank, I'll put in 10 in that box. If I leave it blank or put 0, that's a monolithic install. So let's do that first. And here I have a 2-foot by 2-foot monolithically installed tile. I'll again change the color. At any time, you can come back and change the name by selecting this button. You can set a minimum waste factor for this material. So for tile, I typically use 5% minimum waste. That means that if the waste factor is below 5%, it's going to round up. Additional waste is for attic stock. Then you have cuts per tile. I'm going to leave that at 1. If you don't want to reuse pieces of waste, you can set 0 cuts per tile, and then it will only use full tile. You can also set tiles per box. It will round up to the next full box. These settings I would recommend not turning off, otherwise you may run short of material. Now let's look at a plank. I'll go create new, simple tile, and we'll do a 59-inch by a 9-inch plank. In the offset, I'm going to put 10, which is random, and this we'll call LVT. And you can see how that random stagger looks. And in your offset, it will just say random. Some other options are a quarter turn material, a colored grid, a herringbone layout, raised access flooring, a wood strip, key squares. We have a few options for tile grids. There are more options in the script, which we will look at later. Net area only is for base and transitions, or sealed concrete. So that's it for the basics of creating materials, importing materials from another Callidus project, setting your default list of materials, and a few of the settings for the materials.